What are we even talking about? What are we even talking about? What are we talking about? I said in my last one, any.
I am sick. I am sick of your
Look, I don't know whether it's a case of Stockholm syndrome. I don't know whether she's some kind of like, Scarlet Witch and she's got Wanda level like psycho babble going on in his head top. But what do you mean in a room full of everybody and cameras and experts where Paul is saying, yo, you need to run? Yeah, like I'm looking at you in that sunken place, and I'm telling you to get up and run. Like I said it yesterday, I've said it before. Like I don't think this is a case of him opening up. I think this is what's underneath. I think we genuinely have got an empty vase. There's no boom, no je ne sais quoi, there's no nothing. I mean, it's just dry. Lee had to really, really play it out. I'm like, look, you're not getting it, so let me just lay it on the line. Yeah, she does not want nothing with you after this. You are not her type. She doesn't find you attractive. She's done nothing but run you since you've been here. And he was like, oh, you only get one chance to disrespect me. And they're like, again, but she's done that the whole time. It's like, well, this isn't not a step. This is more like a whole chunk of disrespect. And it's like, and they're like, I don't know what you're saying to me, dude. It's like, it's not even the fact that you fancy him, it's the fact that you would actively want to go after him, leaving me discarded, and have no qualms about me whatsoever. And remember what I said? I still feel it's crappy that she's not heard from him, because I don't think it takes 2 seconds to send a message. But I think I've done everything I could possibly do. I don't know what more I could possibly give. Like, I think she has to also see that there are elements of her character that would definitely make me go, nah, mate. What are we even talking about? What are we even talking about? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? So this is Married at First Sight Season 10, Episode 22. Listen, I said in my last one, I
am sick. I am sick of your shit.
I said in my last one, anyhow, Divarni, right, stay on that piece of card, Every single piece of sympathy has gone out the window. I was like, cliffhanger for what? There was, honest, I promise you, there was not even the smallest part of me that was like, oh, there might be a chance he's gonna write stay. Like, because even when I was saying it, I'm just like, there is no way I can be this like dramatic about it and this extra about it, because there is no way on God's green earth that you are gonna sit down there in front of all them people with all them eyes on you, with all that evidence, and turn around and go, you know what? Yeah, it's me and my baby. When two become one, I need some love like I never need love before. Gonna make love to you. But what are you on about? Honestly, I was sat there, watching that this morning with my mouth agape. Like, literally, it couldn't get no bigger. Jam fool. Like, I just look, I don't know whether it's a case of Stockholm syndrome. I don't know whether she's some kind of like, Scarlet Witch and she's got Wanda level like psycho babble going on in his head top. But what do you mean in a room full of everybody and cameras and experts where Paul is saying, yo, you need to run? Yeah, like I'm looking at you in that sunken place, and I'm telling you to get up and run. I'm gonna stay. And then look, Panshi with the, I'm gonna stay as well. That must be the first commitment ceremony that I've seen, where no one's applauded you when you come back to this. I mean, I don't know with editing, because it did look like somebody had attempted to try and put their hands together, maybe, like, but honestly, there's no hope. There's no hope. If you can sit down there with that onslaught with people telling you that she's clearly said that, like, from the day that you're not her type, and now all of a sudden, like, you're her type. All of a sudden, you're her type. Like, there's a next man, someone else's husband that she'd rather go off with after, like, lying to everyone and being like, oh, I don't want them to know that me and you were doing a thing because I've told everyone that you're not my type. I just, where is the shame? You know that song, Where is the Love? Where is the shame? The shame. Where is the shame, man? Like, it gets to the point where it's like, it's no longer just her fault. Because if this was Dean, even Dean decided enough was enough. It's like, I don't want no more knee rubs. Do you know what I mean? I got to go. You gotta go. You gotta go. Like, what are you doing? Embarrassing. Sorry. Fully embarrassing. And don't get me wrong, I understand that there might be feelings, you know, definitely one-way feelings. You know, and actually this goes back to me saying that I do think he's a bit deluded, because only a deluded person would sit there and be like, oh, do you know what? Yeah, like this is genuinely worth fighting for. Like, why? I'm just still in shock. I'm still in absolute shock. And just when you think, yeah, that this can't get any worse, that this situation cannot get any worse, it does. You see how they're clever, because they didn't put no Julia-Ruth or Divarni in that preview clip because they would have known. Like, but again, I'm like, there's no way he would have said stay. There's no, not with all of that. They would have locked up in. Anyway. So they all get on a coach and they're going to this retreat and they're all excited about it. Obviously, there's still all of this stuff murmuring in the background about Julia-Ruth and Divarni. And it's quite clear that, you know, the rest of the group still are not happy. And I don't even know how I would even, like, brave a situation like this, because, like, last year, when it was Rebecca, was it Rebecca? And that was kind of enemy number one, and all the girls, Holly, Polly, and another girl as well. But like when they were all kind of against Rebecca, I think her name was Rebecca, it was kind of like you could argue it one of two ways, because, you know, it's kind of half of one, half a dozen of the other. Whereas this one, I don't see any redeeming qualities for her. Like any, I don't see anything redeeming about her whatsoever. So I fully understand that a lot of people be like, I don't know how this is gonna go, and I don't know if I would want to go to a retreat like that. So they're all talking about it. Lee is still adamant that she wants to talk to Divarni, because she's just like, I don't know what on earth is going on with that boy's head. You know, and we need to talk. I mean, I think it's her. I think it's her, Rebecca, Bailey, Stephen, and they're all talking about it. Like, they're obviously still very upset about the fact that they're, you know, Divarni and Julia-Ruth are in the competition, the experiment still. And Rebecca's putting it bluntly. She's just like, you know, it just seems to be there's nothing that she can do that he's going to, like, look past. And Bailey's just like, I'm gonna have another talk with him, because I think, you know, it's kind of going in, like, he's hearing it, but it's not registering anywhere. And Lee's the same. She's like, we have to talk to him again about it, because, like, he needs to leave. Like, he needs to leave with his dignity intact, yeah, and understand that, like, Julia-Ruth has meant him no good this entire time. So they all plan that they're going to speak to him. You've got John and Abigail. They're again just loving sweetness, having a great time. Like, he's planned this little date thing. He's like, I did it all myself. I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of the new hairdos rocking, but whatever. His head top, cool. And yeah, like they're having, like, the most amazing day, and they're talking about falling for each other and being on the road to love and stuff, which is just really awesome to see. You've got David and Kia, who are sharing with Maeve, and Maeve is still all kinds of, like, heartbroken. Kia and David are like, you know, look, we've got her back. Like, it's blessed, even if Joe's not here, as he should be. Like, you know, we've got her back. And she's like, you know, I just feel like a mug. Like, they're saying that she has tried to contact him and they've had no response. She's had no response from him. And the difficult thing is, like, again, when you're going through that kind of crisis, when it comes to, like, look, I don't understand. I don't know how close he is with his granddad. Do you know what I mean? Like, some people, like, their grandparents, even sometimes their parents, are just, like, ancillary, like, links and contacts and stuff. Some people just aren't that close, and, you know, they they kind of just go through the motions of, you know, paying their respects and whatever. So some people, they're not even that emotionally invested. I would imagine that he is, because he's, you know, he was going through a hard time, and I know that I would be. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that he is one of the people that would be very much invested in the loss of his grandfather. And I understand that that's all consuming. Do you know what I mean? You haven't really got no headspace for nothing else. But you also know that you're in something with someone that you claim to love. So actually, it's not just a case of, I have to be here for my family, whatever else. There is gonna be a part of you, if the love thing is to any degree true, where you want to see that person and you want to talk to that person, whether it's even just a good night, or a, you know, because especially if they've tried to contact you and you've not contacted them back, like, I get it, you're emotionally invested and intertwined in the grief of it all, understandable. But you mean to tell me that you couldn't find time at some point, like the day before, like the day after, like just to say something? You've woken up and it's like, oh, you know, this is your person, or meant to be your person. And the fact that you've not done that, to me, speaks volumes. And I know that it's speaking volumes to her, because my head yesterday was like, why are you staying? I would have gone. I thought, you've got my details, got my socials. I'm not going on no retreat to sit in that big old drafty bed on my own when everyone else is like, oh, look at the cute little picnic I did outside. Oh, we're going to do this. Oh. Like, I'm not doing any of that. Not doing any of that at all. You miss me with that loner on my ones. Not doing it. Not doing it at all. So the fact that she stayed, I'm not saying it's her fault that she stayed. And I know that she's in love, and I know that later on Leisha's like, you know, you're not a mug, whatever, you're just a, you know, you're a girl in love. But I think my pride, my ego wouldn't allow me to stay. I'd have to leave. I'd have to. So they're chilling. Leisha and Reese, just mentioning them. They're again playful. You know, he's walking up all kind of bedhead, and she's all like, you know, oh, I'm gonna try and, you know, keep the beast at bay. I wanted to jump his bones. But they do seem like they're in a really good place. April and Leo. Like I said it yesterday, I've said it before. Like, I don't think this is a case of him opening up. I think this is what's underneath. I think we genuinely have got an empty vase. Like, I really do. And again, I don't mean that any kind of disrespect to him. And I'm sure his friends and family will say what a lovely person he is, and, you know, and he deserves to be happy, and he is a nice guy, from what April's saying and everyone else is saying. But it just looks as, unless they've edited him, yeah, to genuinely be like Forrest Gump, I don't understand what is going on. Like, how he's like, oh, you know, even in the bedroom, like, it's just so dry. Like, you know, you can't just get by, you know, rubbing your bits together, or like, you know, caressing the arm. Like, there needs to be some kind of chat, some kind of bant, some kind of, you know, back and forth. Like, you know, like, take the mick a little bit, do something. Do something. And I don't know whether he's now so nervous about being dry that he's like unable to even enact a conversation. But I'm feeling her pain. It looks like it's like pulling teeth. That's what it looks like. So when he then has like a little date thing on some bales of hay with some wine and stuff, again, it just looks so dry. Like, there's no input, there's no instigation, like, you know, there's no boom, no je ne sais quoi, there's no nothing. I mean, it's just dry. So yeah, I understand why she's like, you came through with all this like gold like wrapping and the big bow and the fireworks and your hot dogs, and now I've just got frankfurters in brine. Do you know what I mean? And I feel salty about it. Like, and so when she's talking to Leisha and Abigail, like, and they're all they're all kind of assessing where they're at and stuff, and Abigail's like, you know, I'm just really, really happy. I couldn't ask for a better person. You know, yada yada yada. They're really, really happy. Like, Leisha's happy and they're good, and you know, they're kind of reassuring her that, you know, Reese is a good guy and he does like you, and April's just like, yeah, I'm bored, mate. And she gets upset, and rightfully so. Sorry. So before that, then, who else is there? Leah are good, from what I recall. Ashley and Grace, they're also good. I think Ashley is still kind of racking with the guilt of, you know, not telling Maeve this thing. Divarni and Julia-Ruth, they're moving to their like cabin place and stuff, and you know, I don't know whether it's just a kind of like a naivety or just complete delusion. That, you know, they're like, yeah, you know, it's been tough, it's been a bit hard, like like, you know, I know that the other couples are not too happy about, well, they're not championing Julia-Ruth and Divarni, and so, you know, it's going to be a bit challenging, but, you know, I just want to just tunnel vision, focus on us, you know, we know why we've stayed, and we're going to make this, you know, make this work. So, you know, I think in her head she genuinely was coming to have a retreat, where they were gonna, well, to quote her, there's gonna be some tears, there'll be some healing, you know, they're gonna do some, you know, come by yard, I mean, like some, you know, I know I did some things, I know you said some things, but mainly I did some things, and, you know, but what she doesn't know, yeah, is that the group is set against her because they know the truth. So, Bailey, Lee, Stephen, I think it was Stephen, no, it wasn't Stephen, because Stephen was at the boys' day. I think it might have been Ashley, Ashley, Lee, Bailey, and maybe Rebecca, I think. Or it might have just been those four, actually, I'm not sure. But they all went to go and speak to him. And they were like, bruv, what are you saying? And he's like, you know, I mean, even the things he was saying was just ridiculous. Like, it's like, you know, oh, you know, we thrashed it out, we've had a conversation, you know, at the end of the day, like, you know, there's only so much disrespect that I'm going to take from her. And they were like, bro, she's done nothing but disrespect you. Like, your name, you may as well replace Ivani with disrespect, because that's all she's done is disrespect you. She said from the, and Lee had to really, really play it out and be like, look, you're not getting it, so let me just lay it on the line. Yeah, she does not want nothing with you after this. You are not her type. She doesn't find you attractive. She's done nothing but run you since you've been here. And he was like, oh, you know, you only get one chance to disrespect me, and they're like, again, but she's done that the whole time. It's like, well, this isn't not a step, this is more like a whole chunk of disrespect. And it's like, and they're like, I don't know what you're saying to me, dude. And Bailey's like, you know, I don't want him. It's like, it's my heart broke when I saw him right stay, because it's like, she's treated you so badly and you're so into her that you're just oblivious to it. It's like, but what else can you do? You can only tell the guy so many times, and then it's on you. But you know what? I think, like, when they all leveled it out like that, like so consistently, and the fact that she wants to go and swap with another husband, and because he's more her type, and saying that in your face in full 4K, I think he had to be like, do you know what? Yeah. So when he actually went back to the room now to go and talk to Julia-Ruth, because again, Julia-Ruth's having a nice little, because she ain't got no friends now. Do you know what I mean? Like, none of her little girlies that were her girlies from the get go. Because remember, the new girls, Abby, April, and Leisha, they came however many weeks into the experiment. Do you know what I mean? All of the OG brides or the OG wives and stuff, like, it's quite clear that they're not into Julia-Ruth at all. So when she's gone, but at the same time, at this particular moment, I was like, do you know what? Like, I kind of feel for her a little bit, like, and that she hasn't got anyone to talk to. She hasn't got anyone to, you know, to kind of to you know, but any kind of support, and everybody needs at least someone in your corner. Do you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, she's not Hitler. Do you know what I mean? Like, but she's also not a great person either. So so they're providing some kind of support there, and they're keeping it kind of real. Like, you know, you've done some stupid stuff, and the group ain't happy with you, but, you know, you've explained that it's not just you that was talking about who you would swap with. There were other people that did as well. So, okay. And in that vein, like, I think it depends on how it's been framed, because obviously they've edited it so we can see how many times that she said that, but it'd be interesting to see who else mentioned who they would swap with. And it does seem to be that they do like these kind of mix up questions, because the questions I had later on were all very much like, who else you find good looking, who, like, you are looking to stir drama, obviously. So anyway, she gets back to the lodge, and Divarni, he's already packed up the bags, and he's like, yeah, you know, things have been tough. Things have been really tough. And she's like, yeah, okay. And he's like, yeah, you know, it's really, really hit me, and I've been really quite down about it. And she's like, okay, Divarni, what you trying to say? Like, just, you know, almost like, get to the point, like, you know, kind of exasperated with him, kind of thing. And then he's like, you know, I'm not going to stay the night here. I don't think it's wise that we spend the night together. I'm going to, get my own place and stuff. He's like, okay. Gather your thoughts. Gather your thoughts. Gather your thoughts. So he then bounces, and then she's like, I don't understand why he stayed. Like, end of the day, I thought we were coming here as a unit, like, and no one begged him to stay. No one told him he had to stay. He could have gone, he could have written leave, but I thought he was going to come here and at least give me the opportunity to try and heal us, and she's like, I just don't know I just don't know what to think now. And at that moment, I will say I did kind of agree with her, because look, again, he's had new information, but the information wasn't new. He had all this information on the couch, and like the denial, like, wouldn't allow him to hear it until they literally like pasted it in his face. So I do kind of think that yeah, okay, cool. You have heard what they've had to say, and you've taken it all in, but you've also decided that you're going to give her another opportunity. Like, and I think that realistically, if you've decided that you're going to stay and you're going to go on this retreat, the least you can do, yeah, is be amongst it and stand by the decision. Because me personally, I would never have made that decision. Like, you would never have to tell me more than one time that you clearly want to swap with somebody else, and you want to stay here so you can swap with someone else, that you don't find me attractive, that you made it quite clear that you don't want nothing with me after. All right, no problem. No, wrap it up. Do you know what I mean? You're not getting no more TV footage out of me and my shame. Do you know what I mean? Like, so no, it's cool. But you decided to stay. So I'm like, I can understand why she would feel like, why are you not gonna this? Well, this was still when I was gonna give her some grace, right? Even though she didn't deserve no grace. But again, I felt a little bit like everyone hates you, and it just can't be nice to be that person. Where everything, it's kind of falling apart, and you've got nothing and no one, and that's kind of what it felt like. But anyway, so he's bounced. She wakes up the next day, and she's just like, I don't think there's anything left in me to fight for me and Divarni. Something kind of broke in me last night, and I kind of, as I said, felt that we were coming here for like healing, and there'd be tears, and but we'd be healing together. And obviously him leaving, I think that just brought me. They then go on the girls' day and the guys' day, and the girls' day, obviously all the girls are going, and it's funny because as they're doing the footage and stuff, they're all walking hand to, like, in twos. And what I love about Julia-Ruth is, regardless of what is actually going on, she's gonna surface and give that vibe like everything's Chris, as she's doing the VT and stuff, like hand in hand swinging with Leisha, like everything's Chris. And it's like, what a way you've latched onto these guys now. Do you know what I mean? Like, wow, big friends holding hands, cool. So the girls have gone into like some inside thing. The guys are on some like outside thing. But Lee is with the guys, and Kia is with the girls. So with the girls now, they're all sat down. Obviously, so Julia-Ruth is sat with her newfound besties, Abigail and April, and that, and the rest of them, like Nellie's on the other side. Because Nellie, as I haven't mentioned her, Nellie has said to Stephen, and I do rate Stephen for this, and there's not much Stephen plaudits on my channel, but like I do rate him for standing by, and make sure you're standing by his woman. He's made it very, very clear that I am a Nellie only woman. I don't want nobody else. But Nellie's like, she's really hurt. She's really hurt that somebody that professed to be a friend and stuff could like just disregard her, like, and be like, oh yeah, like I really fancy your husband, and make moves of that. So she's like, I don't think there's any conversation needed to be had. She's like, but if it's ever gonna get squashed, I just need it to be an authentic apology. Which she's like, I don't think I'm gonna get that though. So when they get to the girls' day now, and Nellie's like kind of sat opposite, all the girls look fire, by the way. Everyone's kind of dressed up and look really, really great. When they've got to the girls' day, they're all sat there and stuff, and the elephant in the room, obviously, is this whole Julia-Ruth thing. So April is like, so come on, tell me, how are you and Divarni? Julia-Ruth starts crying, and the girls are doing their typical thing of wiping the tears away from the thing, whatever. And it's just so it's so conflicting in my head because it almost feels like justice is being served in that, like, you know, you're gonna cry. You're gonna cry because you know you've done something bad and you're in a bad situation and you know everyone's against you as well. So that's gonna be overwhelming. Do you know what I mean? Like, but I don't know whether she was crying because of that she's heartbroken that things are not working with Divarni, or that she's in the position where she is one of the most unliked people probably in Married at First Sight history. So she starts talking. She's like, I don't even know what to say. What do I even say? Where do I even start? And she's like, you know, Divine and I didn't stay together last night. Like, we've had our time apart and stuff. And basically, both Nelly and Kia are just like, be honest. Whatever's about to come out your mouth right now, yeah, just make sure it's honest. So that goes again to say that, like, they don't believe you. Like, you've told that many lies for no reason that people don't believe you. And then she's like, look, the whole Stephen thing has been taken out of context. You know what I mean? Like, other people were saying that, and Nelly kind of stops her there. She's like, look, can I just say something? She's like, at the end of the day, the reason that I'm so upset, yeah, is because you know already that pretty much most of my relationships, yeah, the guys have left me there. Yeah, left me there, and I've been just discarded. So the fact that you fancy my husband, it's not even the fact that you fancy him, it's the fact that you would actively want to go after him, leaving me discarded, and have no qualms about me whatsoever. That is why I think it's ridiculous, and I don't see there being any genuine apology here. And Rebecca says the same. She's like, you know, I don't feel as though, she's like, what you're doing is selfish. You know, we did not come here to like see who else that we might be linked with and then go for them. Like, and you've got no regard for Nelly and or you know the well-being of Nelly at all. Like, you're just gonna go after what it is that you want, and that is selfish. And so when she's crying and stuff, Nelly's like, you know, end of the day, I don't necessarily like. It's not nice to see anyone cry, but I've not had a genuine apology from her, so whatever, basically. And then it gets to the point where Julia-Ruth is like, enough of this. Yeah, enough of this. She ends up walking out, and then the newfound friend has to have to go after her, and kind of bring her back in. And it was at that moment that as I said, I felt a bit like. I don't know. It's almost like you want justice to be served because that's almost what should happen. That's kind of what should happen. You know what I mean? Like, people that treat people badly, like, shouldn't get the pleasure and the benefit of the communal love and the communal growth if you're not willing to repent for your sins. So I'm starting to feel really like, oh, actually, you know what? Like, I know this is justice, and it just goes to show what kind of, you know, the human condition is. Like, as much as we want people to suffer, actually watching them suffer is actually really awful. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's, you know, my inclination would be like, again, let's just squash it. And you know, I won't trust you. You're not going to be my favorite person, but I don't want you to feel bullied and ostracized in that situation. But at the same time, it's hard to not want that for her, not to want it to be bullied, but for her to kind of just to be away from people, because it's like, it's an energy that you don't want to be. It's so toxic. Like, it's so toxic. So she comes back in, and then it's like asking everyone else around the group, like, you know, how's everything gone with your marriages and stuff? And pretty much everyone is just cushy. As I said, everyone is great. Everyone is wonderful. Then on the other side, the guys, like, it's all again pretty much focused around Divarni, and they're again saying to him, what you're saying, but actually Divarni has come and he's like, look, I didn't stay there yesterday. It was my decision not to stay there yesterday. I've come to the decision that, like, actually this journey has come to an end for me. Like, I came here for love. I didn't find it. Like, you know, I refuse to be disrespected any further. And you can just see how proud they are of him. Like, Lee is just like, she's buzzing. She's like, finally, I've been trying to get him to see this for so long, and he's finally got there. Because one part of me was a bit like, okay, Lee, like, you know, maybe come out the man's business a little bit. But when it's your friend, yeah, I know what I'd be like with my friend, and with all the evidence, like, I wouldn't stop either. Like, you cuss me, unfriend me, whatever you want to do, yeah, but I'm not going to start talking until you see sense, because no friend of mine on national 4K TV is going to continue to shame up themselves like this. What are you on about? So I think they're all proud of him for doing that. But obviously, Julia-Ruth don't know this yet. So then the questions start going around about, you know, who's the funniest wife. I don't know if did the guys get who would you be attracted to outside of your marriage. I don't know if the guys got that. But I know the girls did. The funniest wife was like April, Leisha, Grace. Ashley was very much like, yeah, like April, our humor on the same kind of page and stuff. And it's like, he actually made the point of saying that, like, it's funny that I can make her laugh, but I can't make my own wife laugh. So there, they asked the same thing on the other side. And she was like, oh, I think it was, who is the husband that you would most have likely to have been matched with, and who was the sexiest and stuff. So Ashley got a few, Stephen got a few, Reese got a few. It's funny because Abigail was saying, Reese, like, I don't fancy your husband. She's like, I'm just saying that, like, he's really nice. And then Leisha was like, I would say John. Which again, like, I'm like, okay, like, fair enough. When it got to Julia-Ruth, she was like Stephen. And Neddy's face was just like, and she's like, keep your hands off a man and whatever. But my theory is this, right? Stephen has made it clear that he's not going nowhere, because she keeps comparing herself to Julia-Ruth, which I think is such a shame. I think everyone's got their types and stuff, like, and depending on what your type might be, like, Julia-Ruth might not float your boat. Do you know what I mean? And Nelly might not float your boat, but, like, you have to believe in your own source. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm never, like, if someone said to me that, like, but look at them, well, sorry, look at me. Do you know what I mean? Like, if that's your thing and someone can take you from me, then you were never mine anyway. So go about your business. Like, I'm never going to fight you for somebody else. Make them take you. Like, I mean, like, so the fact that she's kind of like taking it as a whole, I'll keep your hands off my man. Like, it to me, like, there's an element which is kind of cool, protective, yes. But then after that, it becomes a little bit, and a little bit, not beggy, but like, just just stand. And I know it's hard for her because of what she's been through, and stuff. But I think, like, that would repel me a little bit. Like, if I'm like, I've already told you I'm not going anywhere, like, and absolutely that personality trait is not for me whatsoever. But when you don't believe in your source, like, I can only believe in it so much. You have to have that kind of self-confidence as well, because that is such an attractive quality. And the kind of, not the poor me, like, there's an element of that I can see with, I can support with, I can help you glide. I mean, like, but I just needed to back this a bit more, yeah. Back it a bit more so I can be like, yeah, I'm my wife with that. Do you know what I mean? Like, but I wasn't really feeling that. But okay. And then I think there's another question about who you find the sexiest. I think again she says Stephen. And I think someone said to Nelly, oh, everyone's picking Stephen. And she's like, no, actually, I don't think it is. I think it's just Julia-Ruth that wants to pick Stephen. And then Julia-Ruth is like, can we just stop with the sly digs? I don't think there's anything else with the guys one. Then kind of get ready for the evening and stuff. And then, like, Kia, David, Ashley, Grace, and Maeve are sitting in the sofa area and stuff, and they're talking about Joe. It just feels really crap. I don't know what's going on. I'm in this limbo. I feel like I'm not enough. I don't know how I'm ever going to be enough. And remember what I said? I still feel it's crappy that she's not heard from him, because I don't think it takes 2 seconds to send a message. But I think I've done everything I could possibly do. I don't know what more I could possibly give. Like, I think she has to also see that there are elements of her character that would definitely make me go, nah, mate, sorry. Like, from if we go back to the beginning, from the wedding, from the initial wedding day, and the fact that her friends were like, she's like 2 people. Do you know what I mean? Like, you got the lovely Maeve, again, you got drunk Maeve, like Jekyll and Hyde. That to me is already a red flag. I don't like the sound of that at all. But even when she's sober, she can still, like, get to, like, vex on top of vex. And it's like, it's never about that. And to Joe's defense, he has come to have a conversation with her twice prior, and it's resulted in some slanging match where she's just going off on one. So it's easy to put the blame on someone that doesn't want you, and you feel like that you're just not enough. But you've also got to then look at what might be repelling some of those people, and it might be that some of those behaviors I learned because it's a bit like a wounded dog in it. Do you know what I mean? You ever seen those dogs that have been like beaten and abused, and they're really scared to trust people, like, and they snap and they got to bite up your hand. It takes them a really long time to learn to trust you. Like, I imagine it's something similar to that. That she's built up this defense mechanism, and it's like, you know, I need to protect myself, and now she's going in so hard, that it's almost biting the gentle hand that's trying to feed her. But I think where he's let himself down is that he's told Ashley this big something, hasn't told her, and then hasn't communicated with her either. So they're all saying that they've tried to contact him. Ashley said that they tried to contact him. Oh, Bailey and Rebecca are there as well, actually. And Bailey's like, so what was it that you were gonna say? Because you said to Ashley, you said there was something that, like, he confided in you, and you know, and he again explained that, like, you know, I didn't want to say anything because, you know, he has confided in me, and I feel like if I say something, he won't trust anyone again. He's like, but I have tried to contact him myself, and I've not heard anything from him. So, you know, because I'm like, I feel like Maeve needs to know something. So, so he goes, you know, Maeve, you know, are you able to kind of read between the lines and the fact that he hasn't contacted you? And she's like, I just think maybe he's telling you guys something that he's not telling me. And he's like, look, I asked him, you know, if he was in love with you, and he was like, yep, you know, there are things that I love about her, and he's like, yeah, but I'm asking you, are you in love with her? And he said that he couldn't answer. Which, and he kind of, I think he softened the blow, because what he actually said was probably not. So then obviously she then gets upset, and she's like, you know, see, this is what it is, isn't it? She's like, you know, so this is exactly what's been going on. That's the reason why. There's your answer. And then the episode ends. So at that point, I was like, boy, that was a bit of a mess, man. And, you know, I'm starting to feel, as I said, I'm starting to feel a little bit sad for Julia-Ruth, because I was like, you know, there's been a lot to deal with. They've all called her out for her lies and stuff, but as I said, I think, like, understanding just how deep those lies must have gone, I was a bit like, okay, like, I still feel bad for you though, but okay. And some of the kind of cutbacks with Nelly, because she said something like, it's about your insecurities, it's not about me. Do you know what I mean? Like, but good luck with your needy beggy wife or something like that. And I was like, oh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Even though it's an observation, but like, you have done the most amount of damage, and if you know that someone's like that, and you're putting pressure on that, then you are a terrible person, like you are. But then catch the preview now, like, so they've got like a dinner party at this retreat thing. You got some people coming in all, you know, nice and light and whatever else. Divarni and Julia-Ruth are basically, because I guess when I thought he was leaving, I thought he was leaving directly after that, but it looks like he hasn't quite left yet. So I'm presuming that he's then told her that he's leaving. And when I say this piece of Julia-Ruth has come out today, as I said, I didn't think it could get any. I didn't think she could become any less tolerable. Like, and as I said, I had moments in that episode where I was like, I kind of feel a bit bad for you. But what I'm seeing in this preview, it looks like she's coming for, like, the gloves are off. The gloves are off, and she's coming for everybody. She's cussing off Divarni, and telling him about himself. She's telling someone else that she doesn't give an F about this and the other else. And there was some other comment she made. I don't know if it was about Steven, or not, but she has come out all guns blazing from that preview. So I cannot wait to watch the episode, but I guess for me, it's just, there was just so much that's gone on in terms of, like, how I felt about her initially, like, and then even in this episode, still feeling like a little bit bad for her, like, just being like, you know, everyone is against you, but again, everyone's against you because you are a bad person. Like, if every single person, yeah, within that kind of vicinity of knowing who you are as a person can turn around and say, I'm sure Bailey even said that you are an evil person. Like, you know, for them to kind of say those kind of things to you, like, who've been around you, seen the kind of things you've done, heard the things you've done, who are we as just the viewing public that only see like an hour, like every 4 days or whatever? Who are we to kind of counter that? Do you know what I mean? Like, we can only go by the edit. We can only go by what we see. Do you know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. Like, but she's got a frigging nerve. She's got an absolute nerve. And this is what I'm saying. I don't understand how people can be so happy, like, for any kind of publicity. Like, this is the kind of famous that you want to be. You want to be this infamous, like, grade A. Like, I don't get it at all. I don't get it all. And I'll be very keen to see, like, what happens when this all wraps up, yeah, and they get to the reunion. I'll be very keen to see what else, because I'm sure there's many other things that we don't even know yet that are going to come out about some of her deeds, because they've got so much venom for her, like, that I think it's even deeper. I think it's even deeper than what we know. So, yeah, man. Bring on the next episode, but as I said, I'm kind of happy that Divarni got there eventually, but you wouldn't have needed to give me the next day, like, for further dramatics and whatever. You wouldn't have needed that. Sorry. And now she's got even more minutes of fame because she's now on the retreat. But I guess for us it is entertaining. So I guess in that way, thanks to Bonnie. But yeah, I'd love to know what you guys made of this. Where does she go with this now? Like, you know, is there anyone out there that kind of like sees the julia-ruth and can kind of understand where she's coming from? You know, am I being too hard on Divarni? And actually, like, you know, if you know, matters of the heart, you know, they can't always be as black and white as that. You know, oh, am I also being too hard on Leo? Maybe it's just a difficult thing to, you know, have bring up conversations and be enigmatic. Maybe not everyone's got that ability to do that. Yeah, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. But if you did enjoy this, then please do drop me a like and subscribe. That'd be amazing. Thank you very much. And if you do want access to my reactions before they come to YouTube, then please do head over to my Patreon, which is a great way to help support the channel, and it's a great way to connect with me more as well. But yeah, for now, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one.